Ew, tits.
Hey everyone, I'm Areolas.
We're doing up,
Up,
up, up, and away. What's your first?
going up.
What's your first exposure to up?
I probably saw it when it came out, and it was sad, like everyone else thought, and it was good. About you, 2009.
Yeah, that's also when I first saw it, and I've seen a few times since then, so I know up pretty well. Uh, I was up in my feelings in this while watching this movie.
Up in a sad way, or
Up in my feelings,
okay.
that means I'm all up in my feelings. I'm just feeling it.
I know how it feels to pull up, um, in my feelings.
Anyway, so starts off with a great sequence. 10-minute sequence. No dialogue. Nice
Just,
life story.
mm-hmm.
You got the nice little you got some kids. They're playing some TV. They're like, "Wow, this is so cool. We're going to fly a plane. We're going to be on a blimp. It'll be awesome." Kids playing together. And what's interesting is then we have these people meet. We got Carl meets his lovely wife, and they have a nice cute little place. And then she has some pregnancy uh miscarriage and stuff, and that's sad. I'm like, oh man, just wanted to raise a family, and then they couldn't, and then she dies, and he has to go to the funeral, and it's like so sad. And the way that it's paced is just like you feel the emotions with them, like you see them meet each other, and it's like, oh, this is awesome, you know like you see them happily in love. And I feel like the way that the movie does it, it's like there's ways that other movies do these like weird, like really really weird introductions to characters, and then when it's like during like a romance movie, it's like I don't understand like why I should be interested in watching you guys kiss. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like in like romance movies. In some
Yeah,
romance movies. In this one it's like
yeah.
I actually am invested.
No, this one sets them up perfectly. It does it with no audio, or it does. It has audio. It's just no dialogue. It's like music. It's just done. I don't know, perfectly. Really.
Yeah. It is done perfectly. And I think it's because of this movie, plus like toys was pretty revolutionary, but specifically like up was pretty damn good. And this is what gave Pixar its reputation of excellence, and what made it so people can just trust Pixar name, you know um I feel like Pixar in recent years has kind of gone a little bit in the gutter, uh but
Hmm.
this is a classic Pixar movie. So we have the sequence, and now we have Carl. And he's sitting in his house, and he's alone, and he's a grouchy old man. And then there's this construction outside of him. We've got people trying to send him to an elderly home. He just doesn't want to be bothered. And we got people like, hey, can you just like not uh be here? We'll pay for your house. We want this space. And he's like, nah, dude. He gets to the point where he like hits one of the guys trying to take him out. Like, hey, just senior community. He's like, no. Remember that part? There's blood.
Yeah, he trips out because that dude hits the mailbox or something and tries to fix it.
Yeah. What's interesting about Up, honestly, The best part about this opening scene is just the emotionality and like feel sad and then you feel like in regular, like just regular living life. It's like it's kind of the mundanity. You feel the mundanity, and it's like saddening, and like everything he built for is just crumpling down for him, and he's like, "Well, I want to stay in my house that I built, and also I want to go to this specific place in South America and we wanted to me and my girl we wanted to go here but she couldn't go here before I we could go there together so I have to go there, pretty sweet, very sweet. Speaking of sweet, we have a little boy appears on his doorstep and is like, hey, do you want some candy? Do you remember that?
Okay, yeah, I think he was an Asian boy.
Yeah, big. He's very pudgy. But
Yeah.
also, what's incredible is that when Carl lifts the balloons and the balloons just take away the house, and this kid is just there. He's like, well, I'm just gonna hang on tight. And I'm like, bro, how did you not fall? I'm very impressed with the engineering of this house. Also, I'm impressed that Carl owns his house.
He probably had a very good interest rate or bought it straight out cash for it to get a good deal like that.
Yeah, you can't buy houses now.
No, no. I was gonna
No
ask.
fucking way.
I was gonna ask. The one thing that kind of throws me off here, and I don't mean to like spoil any realities. I hope it doesn't like mess with you, but like I've tied, I've blown balloons at work and tied them
Yeah,
together as part of my job, and your hands start to cramp up. I don't know about you, like pretty quickly, even for a young person. If you tie balloons around your finger and tighten them, each and single
yeah.
one, like he has however many balloons that he tied up overnight.
Or I think
Uh huh.
he probably just bought a bunch of pre-tied up balloons. He
Hmm.
probably just went to a bunch of different places. I don't think it was overnight. This seemed like it was an elaborate system that he had built. He had been planning this.
Uh huh.
It just seems like um it didn't show, but it's implied that he had built the system, like had done the math, and he was like, I'm gonna go there.
The
And
engineering.
the engineering was already done.
Uh huh.
Like um and so like the way that I like the movie's structure of this because it already established that he had plans to go to the specific place. Um but like it doesn't show him like doing the building process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like he's been thinking about this. It's just like he's been doing it for a while. So I'm thinking like he has already set up the engineering and then the last thing he needs is balloons because once you buy balloons, the helium starts to seek out of them.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Mhm.
It makes me wonder what type of fucking balloons did he get, too? Like they'll just pop. They'll pop.
They look like regular balloons. They don't look like weather balloons or, you know what I mean? Like they just look like your basic balloon.
Yeah, that shit will just as high as it'll go. Like I think that's probably what he's depending on too. Is that the balloons will just be kind of low relatively altitude wise versus like a weather balloon will be like high altitude.
Hmm. So he wants to
Um,
stay low. Yeah, because then he can't
yeah,
breathe if he goes up too high, right?
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So now he's like soaring through the sky in his balloons, and it seems like how tall do you think that is? I think my guesstimation it's about 2,000 feet tall.
His
It's
home?
definitely like from like when he's in the air over all those planes. What's like airplane altitude? Like 300,000 feet?
I don't think it's that high. I want to say it's like nine or 10,000 feet.
What is it?
Let me see.
Um
What is?
because he's definitely not at airplane altitude. There are airplanes going over him. But he was high enough to be affected by those clouds that make the storms. I think they're the lower clouds that do it. I don't know anything about clouds.
38,000 feet.
38,000 feet is airplanes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's about like 3,000 feet up in the air. Um, what about the clouds though? He goes directly into a storm.
I
Like he
feel
goes
like
straight through.
Yeah, I feel like clouds, if you're like you could see them from down here, but when you're like level with them, they'd be like almost invisible. I don't think they're like in movies where it's like cotton. I don't know, you know.
No, I think like clouds really are just like all just white. If you've seen YouTube videos of people just going through the clouds,
Oh yeah?
yeah, it's just all white.
I've never looked at that. I need to look into that. 'Cause
Yeah,
Clouds
you should. But I don't
clouds
know
are
what
trippy.
yeah, I don't know much altitude clouds format. But anyway, so he goes and he's like, "Oh, um he discovers Ellie. Ellie's here." And he's like, "I'm here because I'm here to assist an elderly. That's the last badge I need." I'm like,
Was
"Cool."
his name it's what's his name? Not Ellie's his wife. Uh
What the
who's the
fuck?
who's the
What's his
dude's
name?
uh
Russell. Why do I say
Russell.
Ellie?
Russell, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong name. So Russell. So Ellie, he also thinks about Ellie a lot. What's
Hmm.
interesting is he has like some photos down of her. Like there's this picture of her and they're just like placed face down. Because he's like he can't stand the burden of her not being there. It's just saddening. So he's just like, I don't want to look at that. It was a reminder of how sad I am and how alone I am. Um Also it's interesting. And it's like, okay, well, now we got Russell's on board. And they go to this place in South America. It's opposite of where they like want to land. And I'm thinking, okay, so if you want to go from on top of this canyon, right? And there doesn't seem to be a huge body of water in between them,
Hmm.
in between places. Like you can just stay on top and go around. There doesn't seem to be any trees at all,
Hmm.
right?
Nope.
Um but they're like, "Let's go down into the jungle." And I'm like, "Fucking why? Just stay on top." There is no obstacle. It was harder. You want to stay on top, it would be harder to get up there. It'd be so hard. Just they overcomplicate everything.
They're men. Men do overcomplicate things, and they they yeah. I guess for plot reasons or something, they were like, "Oh, look, it's right there. We could just go that way." Nah, let's go the whole opposite direction, downwards.
And guess what? They find some dogs. They find Doug. He's a
He's
dog with a talking collar, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, I wish I had a Doug.
A dog.
Yeah,
He's
he's so
adorable.
cute.
Hmm.
I wish dogs could talk to me. Don't you want that?
That would be pretty cool. I think so. If it were a dog like Doug. I don't know about the other dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to put that collar on a smarter dog.
I'd say because I know a lot of dogs are racist just because that follows them, like in their genes.
Wait,
Because
what?
yeah, like racism kind of is built into their genes because of what the white people would have them do, like attack black people back in the day.
Oh God.
So I feel like
It makes sense.
yeah.
And that's horrifying that it makes sense. Um, well,
I'm sorry.
the the dogs, these dogs, they're a pack and they're looking for this very rare breed of bird. And it just so happens that Russell and Carl encounter this very rare breed of bird, and then they have a fun time with the dogs being like, bark, 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 come with us. And they go to this blimp, and guess who it is? It's, oh, can you guess? It is,
The bad guy at Charles Muntz, the hero to
yes,
Ellie and Carl.
Hero.
The whole reason they became who they were is because of that guy.
Yes, exactly. And it's pretty cool, right? So he's
Interesting.
like, I've met you. But there's also this phrase, never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Why? Why does that exist? I've met I do I even have heroes? I don't know. I've met a lot of people and I'm fine, I guess.
You don't know if you've met your heroes, but you're fine, right? So
Yeah.
I've met one or two people that I was like, oh man, these are heroic people, and yeah, I've been cool with them. But I get the phrase, and this sums it up pretty well. Why you don't in this particular film?
Yeah, like I mean every single person that I've met I've been cool with. And so it's like, well, is this phrase true? Is this correct? I guess it is to some degree, so much so that there's a phrase. Um but he's a prime example of not a hero you would want to meet because he's actually kind of a bad guy.
Hmm. He's psycho because he wants to find that bird so badly that they happen on the minute they like step there.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't help that Carl kind of pisses him off too. He's like, "Oh, oh, well, yeah, we'll accept your nice dinner," and he's so hungry. Russell's so hungry, and he's like, "I want some food," and Carl's talking to Munce, and Munce be like, "Oh yeah, what's up?" And he's like, "You murdered other travelers because they come out here, you psycho." It's like, it's weird, honestly. He's just kind of like obsessed with finding the bird so much that he's murdered people over it.
Hmm.
And at some point, I'm like, that's not cool, dude. Murder ain't cool. Don't do that.
No, especially when it's for this bird that is like a mom. It has children and stuff. It just wants to not be found and live its life.
Yeah, it's interesting. The bird is cool. It's a pretty bird. I
It
would
is.
also uh, obsess my entire life over it. It took wait, how rare is it really?
I mean, it was the whole reason in the beginning he brought back the skeleton and everyone thought it was fake, and he's like, well, I guess I got to bring a real one back till and I won't come back till I do, and he never comes back because he could never find a real one. I don't know if he faked the skeleton or not, but I guess it was that hard to find another one or a real one in the flesh alive.
Mm, man, Munce is psychotic in this one because they named the bird Kevin. Kevin has children, and then also Munce is like, "Oh, I'm gonna burn your house." After he gave the fucking chicks to him, after Carl gave the chicks 2 months. Kevin is, sad, but it's whatever. And then add some damage. Here you go. Here's a lighter. You can burn all your possessions, and he has to like push everything out. He has to stop the fire. Like, oh my god, this guy is a psycho. This guy is awful. What the fuck?
Hmm.
Can't
And
just do that.
Carl is torn, obviously, because he feels that the house is representative of his late wife, Ellie. He was going to give up everything to save the home, all the birds.
I mean, luckily he did though because he was able to look through his wife's shit and hey, there's like a note. Hey, start a new adventure, and that motivates him. I'm like, wow. If he let that house burn, he would have not been motivated to go after Kevin.
Yep.
You know, lucky. I'm glad the wife knew that he needed motivation. I mean, that makes
And
sense.
yeah, she was sweet. She was a good person for him. Actually gave him good advice even after death, not to just mourn me until you die or whatever women do.
You know what's interesting? Pixar around this era, right? In
Hmm.
this movie, he uses like a balloon, like a leaf blower. Blows his way through, right?
Hmm.
Well, that's what Russell does. And in fucking Wally, there's a scene where Wally rides a fire extinguisher, effectively the same thing as a leaf blower, but it's blowing out whatever the fuck's in a fire extinguisher than air. And
CO2.
then, yeah, and then there's Toy Story, where fucking Woody is being flown by a Buzz Lightyear, and he has strapped underneath him. He has the RC toy, right? And I'm just like, what is Pixar's obsession with having their main characters fly in the beginning of the third act?
Hey, if it works, don't fix it. I don't know. I don't know how to.
It's just something that I noticed.
If it ain't
It's
broken, don't
funny.
fix it.
I like it. It's cute.
Hmm.
I just feel it's a signature of this era of Pixar, as I would say. So, anyway, so he lightens his house. The house can now fly. It can now lift. And then Russell's like, "I'm gonna go to your airship. I'm gonna fuck shit up for you." And so they promptly do that. And honestly, what's fun is I like how they use the dogs against Munce,
Hmm.
right? And then like Munce, he does a free fall, and at, like that tall of a distance, I'm just like, oh god, visualizing him falling to on a tree or something. Ugh. I just when I see him free fall from that high of distance, I'm like, wow, he's gonna get impaled on a tree. That's gonna
Yeah,
be very bloody.
it's gonna be a horrible, painful death, is what you're saying, right?
Or instantly gone.
Oh,
That's good death. I hope it's not long.
well
That'd be bad.
wishing.
Yeah. And so, of course, they're like, "Yeah, we did it. We did it. Woohoo! We're going to land this ship." And then they do. And then instead of staying in South America with no amenities, um he's like, "I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to um Russell's Boy Scout award," and he gets this pin, but before he could get the pin attached to his thing, instead, Carl comes up. He's like, "Here's a soda cap as representation of our adventures." And then, he just puts it on his pin. He's like, "Yeah, I did it. Woohoo, hooray." And it makes me wonder, Carl, where the fuck do you live now? Where's your house? Where do you live? Come on, dude. Are you travel? Are you okay? Are you doing taxi on airplane to travel via airplane back to South America and then driving to where you were? Where? How did you get here?
I think they stole the blimp because they took all the dogs with them. So now he's the owner of that blimp, even though it's not
Don't
really
you
his.
need a license?
He just knew how, I guess. I don't know.
He knows how to drive a blimp. I can't. What the fuck? I thought it would be so noticeable. Where could you even park a blimp?
Yeah, I think it shows them at the very end when they're counting the colors of the cars. The blimp is like comedically in the background behind like the fast food shop or where the ice cream parlor, and it's like, okay, I feel like you can't just park a blimp anywhere. You need like a
No.
license or a permit. It's a lot more paperwork than that.
Yeah, you'd have fucking who are those air traffic
The FFA,
controllers?
the FAA, or something like that.
Yeah,
The flight
they would
police.
freak out. They freak out when there's a drone in the air that's too high. Imagine a fucking blimp, unauthorized, in America.
It's not even owned by the man who's operating it. He was fucking murdered. Basically, they just threw him off of it.
Yeah. What would you rate this movie?
I'd give it a 10. I think it's a great movie to watch with your kids, uh, or with nieces. I watched it with my niece, and it's just still a beautiful movie. Like you said, it was during like a Pixar Renaissance era where, yeah, they had a formula, but it worked, and I still think it's a great movie to watch. What about you?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's a strong. It's an 8.8. It's a good one.
It is
It's
it
a
is a good
strong
one.
movie. It's a strong movie.
It's very we I harken back to the days where it was like, oh, that was a good Pixar movie, made me cry, and then now you watch the ones now and you're like, man, I miss those old ones that I actually had some sort of emotional attachment to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I watched a part of one, like one of the newer ones. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, this one doesn't hit the same heartstrings like as these ones do. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Like, what is it about the early Pixar movies that are so like great? Is it just the fact that like we were young and seeing them, and like is it like a generational thing?
I don't think so because I was pretty sure 2009. How old was I when I saw this? 18, 19, 20. So at least 22, 23 years old when I saw it. So I was an older
Okay,
person.
okay.
Yeah, it still hit me pretty hard.
Mm.
But that was up, and
Yeah, it was.
we got a little game here for you real quick
Are
called
you down for a game?
Are you? Are
Yes.
you down for Then we will go up with it. This is called Balloon
Hell yeah.
Animals. Balloon
Oh,
Animals. I'm going to show you an AI generated image of a balloon animal, and you guess what it is. These are all AI generated.
nice. I like those.
So let's check here. Do you know what? I don't know why there's so many Asians in this. I did not put have that many Asians, but
They're the ones interested in giraffes, apparently, according to AI.
yes, that is a giraffe. I don't know. Again, I don't know why it generated so many Asian kids with this giraffe. I
Oh,
did
you know
not.
what it is? Here
What?
is here is my theory.
Okay, tell me your theory.
These children are very short,
Oh, okay, okay.
and they want to be tall.
This makes the giraffe look even taller with short,
Yes,
really short kids by it. Okay, I feel that.
yes.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Do you know what this one is?
Is that a ram?
I put in goat.
Oh, it's a goat. Okay, I saw the horns. Oh, I guess a ram would have kind of more spirally horns.
Yeah, but I could see where you're going at because I don't know. I could see that. I could see a ram too.
Hmm. Well, that's cute.
Yeah, no way to tell what race the kids are in the back. So
That's
that's
good.
that's good.
That's a platypus. Or is that a what the fuck? First of all, that's a platypus uh uh hedgehog combination.
I did not ask it to do any sort of godlike combinations like that. I just put platypus and this is gave me platypus.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. It's got a weird nose.
It's
Are their
cute.
bills usually that long?
I feel like you would have a better answer to that. I know you have your
They're
pairs of
native to
platypus.
Australia. I don't know shit about platypuses. All I know is that they're mammals, but they lay eggs.
They okay. I know they're like toxic too. Like they sting you, and their
Oh,
stinger is
really?
like yeah, they have like venom or whatever it is when they sting you.
Oh, where's their stinger at?
I forget. I think it's on their tail or their feet.
Oh god, that's scary.
This is the next one here.
Hmm. I'm very confused, perplexed even. I couldn't tell you what this animal is.
I
Is it
actually
the
thought you were.
MSNBC logo?
It
Now
is.
currently known as Peacock?
Yes, it is a peacock. You are absolutely correct. Ding
No,
ding
it's the
ding.
MSNBC logo. That logo came before the peacock.
I
Excellent.
know Katy Perry has a song named Peacock. Pretty good song.
Oh,
It goes
that's
like
cool.
I wanna see your peacock, cock, cock, your peacock. I wanna see your peacock, cock, cock. That's
That's so clever.
that's
That's
legit the song.
that is genius because you can say, "I want to see your peacock, cock, cock, cock." You can say peacock. I want to see your cock. You know, it's hidden way to say that phrase, but it's like, oh, it's we're saying peacock, cock, cock, cock.
But
You know,
it talks about a man's junk the whole
Mm.
song. It's not about
um, what is it called when you have like a cannibal deniability, or what
I
is
have no
it?
idea. I know what you're talking
Uh,
about though.
yeah, yeah, whatever it's called.
She's talking about peacocks though, not man parts. Uh
That's true.
next one here. Do you know
Woof.
what
It's a
it,
coyote.
it's a Doug. It's a dog. It's a Doug
Woof.
dog.
Woof, woof, woof. What? Wait, what type of fucking balloon animal? Dude, this AI is not even using the concept of the balloon itself being folded. And so you have little eyes circles. You see the fucking black dots in the middle of the eye. Where did that come from? What balloon is that from? You can't just attach balloons to balloons. They'll fucking pop. Okay? You kind of have to just fold them.
No,
And
I understand. Whenever you said that, I was like, "Oh, you're right. You can't just like this red here doesn't make sense with the red over here when you actually combine the engineering of a balloon animal."
yeah, AI fucking sucks. It doesn't understand the engineering of things. Like you have to, in order to draw it well, you have to understand intimately the engineering of the thing you're drawing. Like this is drawing effectively. This is computer drawing,
Speaking
but it's
of
AI.
speaking of drawing well, do you? I don't know why it generated this.
Oh god,
I
it
don't
gets
know.
worse the more you look at it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I legit
You
put
should post this on Twitter.
I legit put do a balloon animal of a killer whale. That's all I put, and this is what it gave
Oh my
me.
god. Tech view. um okay, this is so fucking weird. This
Yeah,
is what is going on?
this is very weird. I don't know why it gave me this whole story here of what's going on. I have no idea.
It meets the DEI requirements. It's all that matters.
I think I have 2 more. Let me see here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's an octopus.
Great job.
Octopus, more like octopuses or
I think the
octopi.
yeah, octopi. And the last one here,
That's a fucking seahorse if I've ever seen one. That's pretty cool.
this actually, when I typed it in, it is Leviathan, the very first shark whale that is supposedly the biblical version of the whale that ate Jonah and the Leviathan.
Oh, with Leviathan. It's a shark whale?
It's like prehistoric sharks or like the combination of a prehistoric shark and whale, like from what kind of came from, like in the prehistoric days.
Okay. Interesting. That looks pretty cool. What happened to the fucking fins? The
Yeah,
fins look cool.
I liked
The,
it. I was like,
the
let me put
top
in the
fins
Leviathan.
are epic. They're like a mohawk.
Hell yeah, that is a godly like fish there. But that's the end of the game. If anyone wants to see an octopus or any other godly like fins, where can they find you, man?
Well, I do daily movie reviews at youtube.com/ASC Presents. You can request me to do a movie review request at patreon.com/ASC Presents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree. Look, it's right here, linktr.ee/Titsman Salad. Or if you don't want to remember any of that, just go to autisticboobs.com.
Hell yeah, and you can find my podcast anywhere podcasts available. Just search "That's All Funny." It comes out daily. Check out my podcast with my buddy Gabe called "That's All Kayfabe," where we talk about wrestling every Mondays. You check out this show at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Lorenzo Arreola. Check out both of our Patreons. Check out the podcast, Tits Mint Salad or Tits and Areolas with Mint Salad. Anywhere podcasts are available. I want to thank the great Mint for being here. I want to thank everyone for listening. Take care. Good night.